And we are live. Welcome everybody to the Monday Hangout. We want to welcome everybody who are visiting here. But before we go any further, we're going to do this check that we need to do to make sure that we're actually working. So if you guys can see if you can actually hear us, that would be awesome. I'm going to do a refresh on my monitor just to make sure. Katie, how about on your end? Yeah, it's working. Seems to be working. Yeah, working.
Works good on my end.
Good on my end too. So I wanted to, first of all, welcome everybody to the Hangout here on Monday. Things have been kind of, I've had a really relaxing weekend. I was just saying to Pops, Jamie, and Katie that I've had one of the most relaxing weekends ever. I just went nothing on my business this weekend. I just really took the time off to kind of recover from this flu, which is kind of still with me. Although I'm feeling a lot better, I'm okay. So I think we'll go down the line here and we'll ask everybody's doing. Pops, how was Pops Day on Sunday? Did you have a good time? Did you get treated by Katie and your family?
I did. We had a great time. Went out for pizza, which was really good. But I'm not used to eating it, and that's okay. But it was fabulous. I haven't had pizza for a long time, so it was a treat. That was a good day. Beautiful weather we had, and we even got some things accomplished. Played with grandkids. Yeah, it was a good day.
Awesome. And wow, that's great. I know I treated my dad. My dad is a huge chocoholic. I always introduces it like, oh, by the way, I'm a chocoholic, and I want to say that, like, who isn't? Everybody says it like it's their thing. It's my thing that I'm a chocoholic. Please tell me here who isn't a chocoholic. There are very few people that love savory stuff. I love savory stuff. I'm not a big fan of chocolate. I think I buy 3 in 1 year. If I'm lucky. But with that being said, Mr. Jamie Shaw, how are you doing today? How was Father's Day?
I'm doing good. Sorry, I had something playing in the background that come on, pop up, and I was trying to kill it. So my weekend was very busy, with my birthday being Friday and Father's Day being Sunday. Actually, 49 years ago, I was actually born on Father's Day. So about every 3 or 4 years, my birthday falls on Father's Day. So I get double the whammy of the presents on, then. So it's pretty cool. So, but we had a big cookout for my father-in-law and had a big family gathering and stuff like that on Sunday. So I got to see, my 2 of my girls and then my other daughter and my 2 boys. I didn't get to see him, but I heard from him, so that was really good. One, it's hard to hear from him because he's all the way out in New Hampshire. So, but he's coming home next month. So hopefully I get to see him then when he comes home. But, it's weird not being on the hangout on Saturday night, but, it's also good to have some downtime and go hang out with family and stuff like that. And I think it was refreshing, and help everybody get back on the focus and stuff like that, because it helps you, realign your mind and your heart and everything, and you can get back into focus and things. But other than that, I had a really good weekend. I'm glad I'm not sick anymore. I get to start my my last bout of the antibiotics tonight, so I got 3 days of them, and then hopefully I'm done with this crap.
Awesome, Jamie. Awesome. And happy birthday. I know it was your birthday, and wow, that is true. You get a double whammy on Mother's Day. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it is pretty cool. So.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Dave.
Miss Katie Stage. Oh, no, Katie Stage. How are you doing? Okay, you're tapping or eating or?
No, got it. Chocolate.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right.
You mentioned chocolate. She went right to the refrigerator and dug it out.
Mm-hmm.
Attention, just say chocolate, and she goes, huh?
Uh-huh. That's not,
Yeah.
I don't get squirrel moments. I get chocolate moments. and I have them daily. So yes, it was really interesting to have pizza, and it tasted delicious for breakfast, cold. I love cold pizza for breakfast.
Cold pizza's the best.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So we've been doing some modifications for the RV. It's pretty exciting. I actually put a sneak peek video on our fan page, Fancy-Free RV. So I can put that in the comments because I think it would be kind of fun for people to understand what we're doing. And some of them will probably freak out. And then some of them are like, huh, that's actually a brilliant idea. I may put that in my own home. So that's just a little teaser for you. Otherwise, it's good.
Awesome. That's great. And it's been interesting. Since I'm not the biggest chocolate fan ever, I'm not. Honestly, if I never had a chocolate for the rest of my life, I would be quite okay with it. But I love burgers. I love Fat Burger even better. I love pizza. Pizza and Coke, 2 o'clock in the morning, the best time ever to have it, ever. It just tastes amazing like that. Pizza at 2 o'clock in the morning with Coke. Yeah, I know Coke's not good for you, blah, 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 but I enjoy it. And it's probably other than the smoking, which I've stopped. Actually, it's almost 7 months now that I've been without a cigarette. And I know Jamie's just behind me. Maybe, what is it? 9.5 months as well?
What was that?
Jamie, without a cigarette? 9.5 months without a cigarette? Because I'm just on 11 months, I think.
I'm about 2 weeks behind you, so.
Yeah. So yeah, I stopped 1st of September 16, and it's almost been a year. And honestly, I didn't think I'd ever quit. I'd ever quit, but I still have. Yeah. What are you gonna say? What are we gonna say, Jamie?
I was gonna say, I didn't even know you quit. I just made it up in my mind that I was gonna quit, and you just happened to quit, right in front of me. So.
Yeah, and I keep referring to the, but here are my six boxes I keep bringing out every couple of months. So I don't know how stale these are, but if I ever decide to pick it up again, I've still got them. But I'm still, I'm not even tempted. Well, it's amazing. Those are LD cigarettes, by the way, and they are really, really cheap. Okay, it's about maybe, I don't know, 65 cents in American dollars per pack of cigarettes. So I don't know. That's probably cheap, right? Okay, so guys, we have an interesting subject to talk about today, and Katie and I were talking about this a few hours before, and we were saying, what is it we could actually bring to the table? And without me cutting out too bad, because my connection is really bad, and I hope you guys can hear me, but we want to really talk about getting back into the groove of your business. And I say this because every now and then you'll take a break, or you'll stop working for some reason. Maybe there's an event. Maybe you get sick, like myself and Jamie were. When I was out of commission, I could barely make it to the computer. I sounded like a frog with emphysema, and but every now and then something will come up and will interrupt your rhythm, and I got to get back into the groove of things. But you've got to start getting back into your business, sending out your emails, writing your blog posts, making your videos, and we want to talk about how you can actually get back into the groove of things. And I really want to talk about two kind of parts to this. And the first one is the reason why we kind of get thrown off our game. And then I want to talk about the actions that you can actually take to help you get back into your rhythm. And I'm gonna say something on the first part about why this happens, and I believe this happens to people. And if Jamie or Pops or Katie want to contribute, I would really love to hear their thoughts on this. But I honestly believe that the reason we get thrown off our game has a lot to do with the fact that we've broken a habit. All right. So, I don't know if you're aware of this, but a habit, to actually form a new habit, takes a long time. It takes roughly about 30 or 32 days to make a habit. All right. So if you wanted to actually develop a new habit in your life, like let's just say you wanted to go walking every day or running every day or doing the sit-ups every day, the best thing you probably do is to start doing sit-ups, and you do that for 30 to 32 days every single day, and you'll find that you'll get into a room, and then it'll become part of your life. And then what happens is it takes about, if you want to break a habit, it takes you 7 days. 7 days to break that habit. Now, obviously, if you've been doing something for a very long time, like let's say that you have a habit of doing something and you've been doing it for about a year or two, and you suddenly break that habit, it takes like 7 days to break that habit. It's going to mess up your psychology a bit. It's going to throw you off your game. And I believe that the reason, the reason people find it easier to get back in to their routine is because of mindset. All right. So here's the thing. Most people, every single successful person on the planet will tell you this, without a doubt, if they're honest, that if you want to become successful and if you want to sustain a good habit, you need to put in the hard work, you need to put in the hard yards, and you need to start doing something that is a little bit uncomfortable. And like myself, Katie, Jamie, and Pops, we understand that if we want to get success, that we need to put in hard work. That's just part of life. Life is hard. And if you think it's easy, then you've got the wrong end of the stick. And I'm sure that Joe, who's watching right now, and Maria, who's watching right now, can agree that this is about understanding that if you want to have something worthwhile, put in hard work. All right? So when we get thrown off our game, if we want to get back to the game, we understand that there's going to be a little bit of uncomfortableness. It's not going to be easy. So I don't know if perhaps Jamie or Kay or Pops want to speak to this, but maybe we can flesh it out. What do you guys think?
I just wanted to say real quick that you're right, Dave. I've had plenty of times where I've been in this industry for 4 years now, and there's been plenty of times where, of course, I'm not going to be working all the time, even though it feels like it. Like, I have never worked so hard on my business. Like 18 hours, I would work easily 18 hours a day on my business, whereas like working a 9 to 5, I wouldn't want to stay there for more than 4 hours, so it's got to think about that too. So when you absolutely love what you do, you're going to do everything that you possibly can to make it work. So that's why you were saying, yes, you have to work hard, but it's not only hard that you have to work on, you work hard, is you have to be consistent too, and constantly working in order to keep things ahead of the game. So it's like when you get back to it, let's just say if you take a couple of days off or something, you get back to it, I have to admit that it is a little bit tough to find that motivation to get back on track. And sometimes it's pretty hard to get back on track when you're like, I feel like I'm behind and I feel like I've been missing out, and that's tough too. So I'm pretty sure you guys can agree on that. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Yeah, I've found the same thing when I've stopped doing something, that it is hard, but I never quit listening to motivational speakers and inspirational speakers, and that helps me to get back on track because it makes me more aware of what I really have in my own mind, and it just gives me a better positive attitude all around towards people and towards myself and towards things that I really want to accomplish. And that really helps me a lot when I listen to Zig Ziglar and others. And I don't have to name names. You can go down the list because most of you, well, I know Joe and Maria know what I'm talking about, and others, if you're not aware of it, you could just look up, motivational speakers, past and present, and it just helps tremendously, and it makes it a lot easier for me personally to get back on track and to work a little harder at what I need to accomplish towards my personal goals and family goals and relationship goals and everything involved. So I encourage people to do that. And when you have a positive attitude, other people will see you in that way, and they will talk to you in that fashion and approach you with the better attitude themselves, and it makes for better relationships all around. No matter who you're dealing with, whether it be an associate of some kind or someone who you're talking about, business, personal friends, whatever, it just makes a world of difference.
Thanks, boss. Jamie, you want to say something?
Yeah, I agree with that. Just to add on to what Pop said, when you get out of action, you know what you must do to get back into action, because you're doing the mindset training and you continue to do the mindset training instead of to get back into action is a need. Instead of I need to get back into action, it has to be I must get back into action to get yourself back into action. And that's one of the things that people don't realize is what the mindset training can do to you. It helps you calm the voices in your head, and helps you get back into where you need to be and pick back up where you left off. And a lot of people don't realize that mindset training helps you focus on things that you must do to get back into action. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that all of us here on the panel subscribe to is something called the Deep Abyss, and you can actually get a hold of that on the right-hand side of your screen if you're watching this right now on the actual page. But the Deep Abyss is something that we all are a part of, and every month we have this mastermind with a 7-figure earner, and she's just gone through a hell of a lot in her business and provides such wisdom and understanding. And here's the thing about great information. Information is really the food that pulls you forward. And it's one of the things that we constantly do is to feed our minds, because our minds are so important. And, now that we've spoken a little bit about the reason, or how to actually, how you can actually get back into that, or why you break the pattern, or how to do that on mindset training. I want to talk a little bit about actions you can take to start getting back into the rhythm. And I've written down a few points here which I want to talk about. And I actually started writing a blog post about this because I believe that there are some things that people can take to actually get themselves back into rhythm. All right, and so the first one I want to talk about is this, and that is to get involved with the community. All right, community is, without a doubt, one of the best things that I have done inside of my business. All right, we have an amazing community inside of this group, and I know that Maria and Joe, who are watching, are also part of this community where we encourage each other. And the great thing about being a part of a community, it's like if you have a great skill, like if you're playing golf, most likely you're going to join a golf club. Or if you are like flying planes, you will join a club where people do the same thing. And it's because you need to surround yourself with people who want the same things. And that way you can learn from the people, and not only that, but you can help other people if they are struggling. So, and that for me is a great way to get back into the community, all right? Because you know that you have a group of people who you can connect with. And I'm not just talking about being a part of a Facebook group and just not doing anything, talking about interacting with people, being a part of a chat group, and being able to talk with each other. You know, one of the things that we do here is every week we like to run a workshop. And this workshop is a community of people where we can interact with each other. And it certainly does keep us regular, doesn't it, guys? It certainly does help us. That's the first one. Yeah, someone want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. You just gave me a brilliant idea to help somebody get back into the swing of things. And it's all about what we teach here, Dave, what you teach us and teach the community here is that to always have content ready and possibly have it ahead of time. And I think that would probably be a good idea. Just like when you always have something ahead of yourself, you know, this content to put out into the social media marketplace, that once you get back into trying to get back to the swing of things, I think it would be helpful to go back to that content and just get fired up again, even if you don't have, like, say, a community. Unfortunately, that does happen, but that could be something that could help out.
It's certainly something that people need. And a lot of people who are watching, perhaps are watching the recording now, not involved with the community, and we want to encourage you to reach out to a community. Even if that means you have to reach out to us, because we are certainly we're part of two communities. We have a big community that everybody kind of is involved in. It's called the 25 Market Mastermind Group. And then we have a smaller, more personal community workshop, or the Workshop Warrior Institute, which are a group of dedicated people who really want to work on their business. And we want to encourage you guys to do that, to be a part of that. So that's the first point I wanted to address. The second point is something that doesn't really apply to me per se, but I know this applies to some people, and that is to get dressed for work. Okay, now I know this sounds a little bit weird, but I actually know of people that will find it better when they need to get back into working on their own business, that if they get dressed up in their work clothes, in the sense of smart clothes, so they can sit down and start working. We have a mentor that we know, and his name is Pat Patterson, and Pat works from home. But the thing about Pat is that he gets up every morning, you know, he smokes his carton of cigarettes and has his cup of coffee, and then he will dress for work. So he gets dressed in like a suit or smart, and he sits down and he gets back into work. And that is definitely something which can help a lot of people. It's not something I do, but it's suggested that you could possibly do to get yourself in rhythm of things. All right. I know that for some people, if they're kind of still sitting in their PJs and they're trying to do work, it's hard to get back into that work ethic or that work mode, especially making videos. All right, you want to look presentable. You don't want to be sitting there in your jammies with Snoopy on it, and you making a serious video about work. Although you can if you want, I suppose, if you want to go down that road. So that's the second one I wanted to address on. The third point I wanted to talk about is, and this kind of works for me, but having a clean environment. All right. Now, I want to mention two things about this. Having a clean environment is great. All right. So every 3 or 4 months, I will go around and I will actually do a bit of spring cleaning so that I can work in a clean environment. I do like being in an environment that's relatively clean. I don't like working in a pigsty. But I'll also say this. If you are cleaning every single day, you're probably procrastinating to do some work. All right. So it's just a suggestion that I would say is to clean the environment up and to work in an environment where you can actually find things, when you can find your keyboard or find your microphone. You don't have to look for your mouse buried under a paper. All right. It's a good idea to work in a clean environment. Now, the fourth point I want to bring up is to buddy up. To buddy up does not mean have an accountability partner. I cannot stand that term, all right? But to buddy up with a friend or a business partner that you have that helps you and encourages you inside of business, all right? One of the things I really appreciate about Katie is that, and Jamie or Pops, is that we can actually connect, talk about things, and to decide what the best way to move forward. And it's always good to have some form of a business partner where you can help each other out. And I'm not talking about business partner in the sense that you're working on a project together. I'm talking about somebody out there who identifies with what you are doing. If you are struggling, you can call them up. You can say, I'm really battling with this. Do you have any suggestions? Like I was saying to Katie, what is it that we can actually talk on today? And then we raise the issue of the fact that it's a little bit difficult to get back into the rhythm of things when you've had a break. And then this developed into what we're doing today. So buddying up with somebody is a really good way of helping yourself be motivated to get work done. That's the point I wanted to raise. I've got two more points, and then we can go to our panelists to see what points they've got to raise as well, because I'm really interested to hear what they have to say. And this is the next point, the fifth one. And that is to start your own hangout. If you're inside of a business and you build model aeroplanes and you sell parts on your blog, all right, and you have a small business, it's probably a good idea to start a hangout on building model aeroplanes, or to give people information on that, for a few reasons. But one of them is that when you start a weekly hangout, it keeps you regular, and it also reminds you that you've got to come up with something for the following week, which means you're going to be consistently trying to come up with content so you can teach your audience. And the more people see you every single week, the more they understand that you are actually serious about your own business, and it keeps you in front of your customer. All right? There's one thing about doing a hangout that I know is true for everybody on this panel. That if we can't perform if we cannot do our hangout, we feel incredibly bad. Not for the fact that we're letting ourselves down, but we feel incredibly bad for the fact that we are letting other people down. Because people look forward to these hangouts which we're doing right now. People that are aware of this hangout, and they really look forward to tuning every single week to see what new thing we've got to talk about. And I know that Jamie, he also runs his own hangout as well, and he feels incredibly bad for the fact that he is not producing if he can't think of something. And here's the other thing: if you've ever run your own hangout and you haven't done any work, you haven't done any research, and you haven't done anything, and then it comes time to do your hangout, believe me, you're going to come up with something. You're going to come up with something because you know you got to go live. That's why I would suggest you make a big announcement saying, I'm running a weekly hangout, and that way you've got to keep yourself accountable. You're self-accountable. And that really is powerful. And there's this. It's that if you really want to be somebody who is getting back into the rhythm of things, I want to suggest that you never stop learning, that you are always buying courses, that you are going through your old courses, that you are always filling your mind with something new. So one of the things that we love about our business is that we tremendous amount of training. And I know that that Jamie is one of those guys that just eats up courses for breakfast. He loves buying courses because he understands that learning is the key to really growing. And this is why he never runs out of content. This is why I never run out of content. This is why we always have something to speak about. And here's the other thing. If you are learning every day and you are making it a habit, chances are getting back into the rhythm of things is not going to be that difficult. It's always going to be a struggle, hey guys? I mean, it always is a struggle. I mean, like I've been out of it for almost 3 weeks now, and I've got to get back into the rhythm of things, and I know it's going to be difficult. As difficult now because I've been doing it for so long. Understand it's still going to be a struggle. So maybe you guys want to take it over here and you've got some points you want to raise on helping people getting back into the rhythm of things. So take it away, one of you. Who wants to speak?
Yeah, first of all, I want to backpedal a little bit about the PJ thing. You know how I feel about that, Dave. I wear PJs all the time. And
Yes, I know. We're all different.
I know. Oh, yes, I'm very different. But being that it's Garfield the cat's birthday today, I'm wearing Garfield PJs. So he's 39 this year, the cat. Anyways, I'm not a fan at all, really. But I think, Dave, you hit on a lot of great points. And I just kind of wanted to talk about running your own hangout and talk about how it has helped me in my business, because I don't know how long it's been. I've lost count how many hangouts it's been over a year, maybe 2 years. I don't know. Twice a week, doing it nonstop, unless it was a holiday and we decided not to get on these things, just to let people enjoy family time. But the thing is that what I realized is that there was multiple top income earners that have told me and told not me personally, but like saying training videos that I've watched to get your own hangout, start your own hangout, start your own hangout, start your own hangout. Because what that does is that it doesn't matter what business you're in a specific niche that you found. And what you want to do is you want to get in front of people and become the expert, even if they're in the same niche as you or in the same company as you. If they're selling the same product as you, get together with people, because we're all in this together, right? There's no competition whatsoever. Get a couple of people together, start a hangout, or you can say if your company has a company group, like a Facebook group, you can just tell people and start messaging people and say, hey, I got this hangout. If you want to come and check it out. Not only, like Dave says, it keeps you accountable to yourself, but you're pushing yourself, stepping out of that comfort zone and actually saying, yes, I decided that I'm going to be a leader in this company and share all the knowledge that I have about the product that I sell, about my story, bring some industry leaders onto my hangout and just go for it. I mean, it's an amazing experience, and it's actually changed my business a lot. If I had to say to anybody who is just at that point where like, okay, now what should I do? That would be to start a hangout. Just go for it. That's how I started with getting comfortable with video. I was at a company event. I've been to so many, but this particular one, someone had said live something that just triggered that when I went home after that event, I just started my own hangout. I just did it. I just picked a day. I didn't care what it was. I just did it. And it was a certain time every single week. And I started getting people on my hangout. And all I did was I had them tell their story, their success story. I had them talk the whole time. That was it, man. That was amazing, which led to me meeting Pat Patterson, which led to me becoming a rising star. That's what they call it in my company. And I was able to tell my nuggets and my golden nuggets and my story in front of thousands of affiliates. And everybody like at the next event wanted to take selfies with me and interview me. So that kind of stuff happens. I don't know exactly what you want in your business. there's nothing wrong with a little bit of fame. That's actually kind of cool, but it can happen. Instant celebrity. So if anybody else wants to talk about something, go right ahead.
That's absolutely right. Go ahead, Jamie.
Go ahead, Pops.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. There's nothing wrong with fame. Actually, it goes with the territory if you're going to become successful in whatever you're doing. And it doesn't matter, even if it's a 9 to 5 and you're trying to grow in that for whatever reason. I personally don't recommend a 9 to 5, but people are going to get to know you and you're going to be approached by junior people. And they're going to ask you questions on how to do this and how to do that. And normally you would want to have that information or let them know that you're going to be able to get it to them if that isn't quite what your expertise is, but get back to them. And word will get out that you are accountable to the people who want to know you and who approach you for more information. Getting back on track, Katie and I are still, we're at home again. We were on the road. We're full-time RVers now, and trying to stay connected with the information that we want to share. Even when we don't have an internet, we can read, we can work offline. You don't always have to be on an internet connection to learn. And there's audios that we have, and again, the books, reading books. And that helps us gain the knowledge that we want to share that we hope will benefit other people, just like what we're talking about tonight, trying to help you get back on track. But it keeps you plugged in because you're still like feeding your mind with that good stuff that everybody wants to hear about, know about, and learn about to help them to gain their advance towards their goals. And we all have goals, and if you don't have a specific goal, I recommend finding a video about goals or read a book about goals of people who have already went through the grill and learned how to gain their goals, and they of course have learned from others. So it's a succession of people from the past who have passed on this information to all of us over time. I mean, I'm starting to like back to Plato and Jesus and all the other great wisdom people who have had all this information and worked it through and passed it on all through the years. It's not new information. We may talk about it in a different way because we're all individuals, but we all have the same messages. And take them and run with them. And when you start talking about it with the people that want to hear you, you'll be telling it in your own story, even though it's the same information, just told in a different way. And you stay plugged in and working at that, and it'll be easier for you to stay on track and to gain your goals and attain them, and then set new goals and move forward with that. All the training that we have gone through and are still going through is nothing but good. It's just that you can't help but grow and become more confident. Even if you don't think you are confident, you really are. Because once you start talking about it with other people, and when they start listening and implementing what you tell them, you're going to know that you know what you're talking about, especially when they come back and ask you questions. And that's a good feeling. It's nothing like your kids, if you have kids, or a friend or a sibling or someone who is interested in what you're doing, regardless of what it is, and asks you questions about it. They consider you an authority, and being an authority is a goal that you should set in your niche or whatever interest you're in, even if it's training dogs or birds or whatever it is that you want to do, or whatever you are thinking about selling. Learn everything you can about that area and connect with other people that have the same interest, and you will gain a following that will just keep on going and going and going, and they will tell others, and they'll come, and you just can't help but moving forward. And it's really a great feeling when you know that you're helping other people get their goals in order and work towards their own goal. Go ahead, Jamie. Thanks.
I was just looking back at when I did my first hangout, and it was July 28th. So next year is a year I've been doing my own hangout. And in that year, I've missed 2. And they were good reasons why I've missed them too. One, my grandmother passed away. That was the first one I missed. And the second one was 2 weeks ago when I thought I was dying because I was so sick that I couldn't, I just couldn't get on there and do it. And that wasn't an excuse that I couldn't do it. I mean, I've been on there sick before, but I don't think it would have been a cool show or been fair to Joe for me to be throwing up in the trash can while I'm trying to do my show. So that's why I canceled it. Because I want to give my audience their best value for coming on and on my hangout and, seeing the interview with Joe, because that's what I did. I interviewed Joe, and I want to give them the best value possible, and if I'm sick, I'm not, if I'm as sick as I was that week, I'm not going to give them their best value, and it's not fair to Joe. So that was a lot of the reason I canceled. And the first time was self-explanatory. So, but doing your own hangout helps you be consistent. You have to come up with a topic every week. You have to deliver content every week. You have to, if you have an audience, I like to interact with the audience. If the audience asks you questions, you have to be prepared to answer those questions, because they're there because they want their questions answered. You have to, be prepared mentally and physically to handle all that. And the more you do hangouts and workshops and stuff, the better, and videos, the better you become. So when you're on a hangout and somebody hits you with a question, you don't have no idea. I mean, somehow, some way, the answer just comes to you and you spit it out. And I've had it happen to me several times. And I think Dave put me on the spot on the hangout. The first time I taught on the hangout, I think scared me so bad that all the fear of doing videos and stuff just went away. So, so just, if it's something that you're looking at doing, don't just look at doing it. Just jump in and start doing a hangout. Jump in and start doing your videos. In about a month, you'll forget about why you were scared to do them at all, and you'll start being consistent and doing stuff and attracting an audience to you. Because once people start hearing about you and your show, they start coming to you. There's been nights I've had one person on, and it was Katie. And there's been other nights I had 25 people on. And who they were, I have no idea. I mean, some of them were from our workshop, some of them were from my list or something. I don't know. But it's just the consistency. They know I'm there every week, so people show up, and consistently have people every week. Some are from our community, some are from people that just pop in on YouTube or on my link on my show and just come in and watch for the information that I provide. So get over the fear of doing it and just do it.
It certainly is. You might be watching this thinking, gee, it's easy for you guys to say that, but I can assure you this, and this is why I wanted to illustrate the point that you have to understand that life is never going to be easy. All right? Life is not easy. All right. If anybody, the only people that have life easy are people that are born into royalty, and perhaps if you are born from a celebrity, you might have life that's relatively easy. But ironically, even people that are in those situations, other than royalty, still don't have it easy because they still deal with the backlash of reality. You can't live inside a cocoon. Most people, if you're watching this, chances are you are not royalty or you are not a major celebrity, all right? Which means that you are just like every single one of us. And you have to understand that life is hard, life is difficult, life has some bruises. And unfortunately, if you are somebody who thinks that success is something where you don't need to work hard, then you are sorely mistaken. All right, this is something that you need to understand. It's just part of living. It's like, reason you didn't like eating. Let's just say you don't like eating Brussels sprouts, okay? When you were a kid, when you are a child, and you were told to eat your Brussels sprouts. You didn't want to eat your sprouts because they didn't taste good. Well, tough tackies. You've got to eat your Brussels sprouts because it's good for you. All right? Unfortunately, we live in a world where, and sorry to say, there are some adults out there who, and I'm not just picking on people who don't eat Brussels sprouts, because I understand there are some people that just say, okay, I'm old enough, I don't need to eat Brussels sprouts anymore. But as an adult, there are some things that you need to do, which you understand perhaps may not taste as good, but you need to have them. Because if you, I'll tell you a story. This is what happened to me when I was in London. When I was in London, the one thing, before I went to London, the one thing that I really avoided was fruit. It wasn't something I had every day, but I had it because, and this was yonks ago. This was, man, that must have been almost 20 years ago. My mother always made sure that I always had fruit. Always. All right, but I'm granted. So I go to London. Oh boy, I'm in London now, right? I'm going to be here for 2 years. I'm not even going to have any fruit. I'm just going to eat what I want. So my diet, when I started to earn some money, consisted of what? Consisted of 1 pound, 1 pound, there's 1 pound chicken burgers or McDonald's burgers. That's what I had all the time. And I had it for the longest period of time, for about 2-3 months. And then I got scurvy. Then things started to produce real problems for me. I had problems in many areas, and I was getting sick. And I remember having a conversation with somebody, and they said, "How much fruit do you have?" And I was like, "I don't have any fruit." And it was at that moment I realized that I needed to have fruit. Because if I didn't have fruit, I was not going to feel comfortable. I was not going to be regular in the real sense of the word, if you understand what I'm going, right? And that is the way life is. There are things that we need to do in order for us to get through it. And this is the same formula that you have for success. If you really want to build a business online where you can fire your own boss like myself and you can earn money from home, you need to eat the things you don't want to have. You need to eat your Brussels sprouts or butternut. You need to have your pumpkin. You need to eat your vegetables. You need to have your fruit. You can't just eat mashed potatoes and meat, all right? Because if you just eat mashed potatoes and meat, it's not good for you. You can't live off pizza. No matter what anybody says, you can't do it. All right? If you ever just... Oh my gosh, don't even get started on the coffee stuff, right? I knew somebody who drank coffee his entire life. It was like, why don't you have any water, right? So there's water in coffee, there's water in coffee. No. You got to drink water because you need to be hydrated. You can't just say you've had coffee. As I'm saying, you can't skip. You can't skip the hard stuff. All right? Sometimes you need to drink something very vile in order to get benefits. So there is a drink in the South Africa. You probably get it over there. It's called Buchu water. Something about Buchu water. It is the most vile. It honestly, it's got to taste like benzene. Have you ever smelled benzene? It's disgusting. Well, Buchu water tastes exactly, well, I wouldn't say because I've never drunk benzene, but it smells just like benzene. You drink stuff and it is putrid, but it is super good for you. And I'm afraid that success comes with drinking or eating something that you don't like. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. About being successful, you need to do things that are hard. You need to start working on a regular basis. You need to start doing something every single day. You need to get yourself into a routine. You can't just treat yourself to ice cream and not have anything else because you will get sick. It's like when I was a kid. Right? Condensed milk. Have you ever had condensed milk? Who loves yourself some condensed milk? Well, when I was a kid, the thing that I really loved was pineapple. Pineapple was the thing that I loved. All right, pineapple. It's the only fruit that I really, really, really enjoyed. But I decided I was going to eat an entire pineapple. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't have pineapple again for the longest of time. Couldn't do it. It's like when I was a kid, I was really small, and you would have a teaspoon of milk, and you think, ooh, cool. What I'll do is I'll drink a whole can of condensed milk. Ugh. Ugh. Can't do it anymore. Come on, you guys understand what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'm sure there's an experience you can talk to, like eating a lot of something. Have you ever had? Well, I'll just tell you a funny story on the side, okay? May not connect, but I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a kid, really, I must have been about 8. My mom used to cook with these beef stock cubes. You ever had it? You see a beef stock cube, you put it in food, there's a flavor. Anyway, I would lick the packet. You know, lick the foil wrapper. It came in, I licked that because it was yummy, right? So I said to my mom, can I have a whole beef stock cube? She said, no. Anyway, she takes the beef stock cube, she pours it on the table, and I grab one. And I went to my bedroom, and I go underneath the bed, and I open up this beef stock cube, and I put the whole thing in my mouth. Oh my gosh. It was horrible. Oh, but anyway, that's so funny. The lens that I want to share with you guys. But I'm sure you get the point that I'm trying to make. Yeah? Too much beef stock.
I actually had that experience this weekend. We had a family garage sale. And, you know, once in a while when you're on the road and you stop into a gas station in the early morning and there's like fresh donuts sitting there. And once in a while is okay, but it's like, okay, so long story short, we had a big box of donuts every single day that we had this garage sale for 3 mornings. And I kept eating donuts. I even have a selfie with a donut on my Facebook. It's like I had so many after that. I mean, I'm good. I got it out of my system, literally. Ew. Is that? Yeah, I make stuff awkward. You guys understand that. I'm wearing PJs. I make conversations awkward. So anyways, the next day after the garage sale stuff, actually the last day, we're getting donuts again. And I did not want any of them at all. I had maybe this small little piece that whole day, but it was like too much. It was way too much for the last 2 days that I had, that I just like, it completely just, yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I do that with potato chips, but never chocolate.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that, you know, and the point that I'm trying to make here is that is just part of life. You've got to have variety, but you've got to also understand that there are some things that you need to do that are not necessarily fun to do. You can't just you have a life of licentiousness and do things that are just amazing all the time, because that's not being a grown-up. And inside of marketing, you need to do grown-up things. And unfortunately, with the way that everything is in the media and the way that we have been treating our lives to make things so easier, we become lazy. We become subjects of our environment where we want things on demand. And if we don't have it now, it's at the cart. And, you know, this is something that every single one of us has to go through. And I say this regularly, that For 7 years of my marketing career, I failed miserably. I failed miserably because I had to learn, and I had to learn, and I had to bump my head, and I had to hurt myself in the sense that I had to learn things that it took me 7 years to realize that I needed to do things I didn't want to do. I always try to find the easy way out. I always try to get the free courses. I was in IT for a long time, been in IT for a long time, so I found a way of getting free courses all the time. But I ended up, that was the challenge, just getting the free course. And I never actually got into the course at all, because I wasn't prepared to put in the hard work and go through the actual material myself. Jamie, you want to say something?
I was that way with doing videos. I don't, for whatever reason, I get in front of some people live, just one-on-one or a group of people, and I'm fine talking. For some reason, I can't explain it. I could hardly believe it myself. I get in front of the camera and I'm just, you know, or if I made it through a few words, I'd have to stop it and start over. And I don't know I don't have no idea how to explain it, but it was one of the hardest things I have done in my life, is to get in front of a camera and make videos. And I'm fine now. I finally worked my way through it, but it took a long, long time for me to accomplish that. But I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing myself, and I finally worked through it. And so I feel exactly what you're talking about, Dave, when it comes to the video thing. It was just crazy, and it's crazy because I just, you know, I'm just be myself. How can I be afraid of a camera when I'm just being myself in front of a camera, and I've been in front of people all my life? And this was just, you know, a few years ago when I was trying to accomplish this. And, you know, heck, I'm in my 60s, so I made it all through life, being able to talk to people and get along with people, and they interact with me just one-on-one. I'm just being myself. Put me in front of a camera, and I freeze. It didn't make sense, but it happened. And again, just got to work through all that. I had to bust my butt and talk myself into it, and that's just what we have to do with whatever is a hang-up. Just you got to work through the hang-ups and just be yourself and move forward. And boy, it's just, and it's a freedom now. Now it's a freedom. Now I'm comfortable, and it's such a relief to be able to accomplish that. I've accomplished that, and to be able to move forward and fight other battles with myself and work through them, because they're there.
Yeah, you know, this is true. You know, the thing, you know, Pop's he's a fighter. He's a survivor. He knows how to survive. If there was an apocalyptic thing happening right now, I bet my money on the fact that Pops could survive. You know, he's a survivor. He knows how to take care of himself. And it's because he's gone through things that he understands that he needed to go through, even though he didn't like every single one of them. I know, for instance, that Pops will eat the crusts on bread. He understands that. He doesn't cut. I know of adults that will cut off the crusts of their bread because they don't want to have the crusts. And all I'm thinking is, gee, you really haven't been hungry in your life, have you? You've never really been hungry. You've never really gone through that. You know, somebody says, oh, I know what it's like to be starving. I've had bread and butter only. You had butter. I lived on baked beans for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, if I could. I know what it's like to be hungry. So I appreciate food. You know, I've been through that. And this is the thing. This is the pattern that repeats itself. And it isn't just for surviving in life, but this is with success as well. You need to do the things that are difficult. Jamie, did you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not saying that you're a bad person because you cut the crust of your bread or whatever, but I'm just giving that as an example. There are things that you need to do. All right, and if you're treating your business like somebody who doesn't want to go through the hard parts of it, you're never going to get anywhere. It's not going to happen for you. So you need to start getting uncomfortable. You need to start doing things that you're not comfortable with. And you need to start getting into a routine. You need to start working every day as your business. Because that's what we've all done. And I don't think you'd find anybody that said success was easy. I never really anything into it was I've never come across anybody who's done that, right? Katie, have you?
No, but I do want to say about the whole routine thing. Like, we brush our teeth every day, or at least you should be brushing your teeth. We take showers. Well, at least you should be taking a shower every day. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Jamie. But we already know that you are pretty good at putting yourself in a routine. And it's kind of funny when you have something that comes up that's super important to you. What do? You make time for it. So if you're not putting yourself in a routine and you're not getting back in the swing of things, your priorities are messed up. And if you are in a position where you're not quite sure you're on the right track, I got to tell you, here's a secret. This is what we're here for. You can reach out to any one of us and we'll help you out. Okay. So we have this group every Saturday night that we help a lot of people out who go from not even having a lead to get their first lead, and someone who's been working at it for a whole year, just stuck in learning mode, or just took a whole year learning. Or with me, I was stuck for over 2 years until I met Dave, and then just gave me a strategy. I did it consistently for 90 days, and it worked. So it's like we can give you a strategy and help you along, and then once you get in the swing of things, and you have a break, it's easy to get back into swing of things because you know it works and you're excited about it. In fact, you probably won't even have a break. You just want to keep going even on holidays.
That's true. I mean, it's addictive. I don't ever, even while we're saying this about, like, when your rhythm is thrown out, you still think about business. You still think about, even if you don't do it, if I don't fulfill everything I want to, I at least get an email out there. I at least put up a post, I tweet something. I do a blog post. Like, I'm doing a blog post now as a result of this that we're doing right now. And we have to go now because it's on the hour. But before I go, I just wanted to say that we've added a button, all of us here, on the bottom right-hand side of this hangout, which is in Jude's Hospital for Children. And just so you know, this is not an affiliate link. We're not getting any money or anything like that. This is just a pure link to a donation place on St. Jude's Hospital. And I want to start developing a culture of giving. All right. So one of the things that I want to be part of is giving to charity and help a sick kid that's strong cancer, and to give back to the community, because becoming successful online is a great thing, and it really is a freedom thing. But it's also, I believe, we should be giving. All right, it's something I want to be a part of my business, in the sense that I want to make sure that there's a way for people to donate to a cause. Things that you can do is to give, and that is to give to a kid who is struggling with cancer, and St. Jude Hospital is an amazing place to do that. Even if you don't give it to St. Jude's Hospital, but it's there if you want to do it, just click on the link and you can give some money to help a sick kid. So I just wanted to say that that's something we added here as a group here on this panel, and would encourage you guys to get involved in the community as well, so you can start giving to some charity to help out. All right, so with that being said, we're going to say goodbye. I just want to go down the line here. Pops, you have a few words you want to say, and then we'll go on to Jamie and then Katie.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I just wanted to say that some people are told that maybe they're afraid of success, and that I don't buy that. I don't believe that at all. I believe it's confidence, a lack of confidence rather than fear of success, and that is due to not learning enough and practicing what you learn, and you'll gain the confidence, and the success is just automatic. Has nothing to do with fear of success. It's getting out and talking to people and sharing what you know, like you do in church or like you do wherever it is you hang out at. Share the information you find, and you will automatically become successful. So keep learning, and as they say, keep on keeping on. Good night.
Thanks, Bob. Jamie?
Yeah, I would say to everybody, if you find yourself in action, you fell down, you're stuck at a point, pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and go back to the basics and start at the basics all over again. Because every now and then, even we get stuck and we have to go back to the basics and start all over again to relearn what we already know, just because we need to take that time to get back to the basics. So starting all over is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's finding out stuff that you missed along the way that you can find out again.
Thank you, Jamie. And Katie?
Yeah, I can just say that we've all been there, and it feels like starting over. But I was just telling Dave earlier that you just got to keep your eye on your why and why you're doing it in the first place, and get excited about it, because this is a really cool industry. I love it. No 2 days are the same ever. That's what I love about it. Like being stuck at a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't want to be there with the same day in, same day out. It's just not fun. For me, I get bored pretty easily. So I think this industry is pretty amazing, because your imagination is the only limit. So just get excited about it. Thanks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Katie, and thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be here at the same time next week. Also, make sure to get on to Wisdom Wednesday on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with Jamie's Hangout on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to get onto the workshop, which we're all a part of, where we all meet together on the Zoom Hangout and we help each other out, go ahead and click that button below this video where it says Get Started Now, and then get in contact with us and get some instructions on how to actually be a part of that workshop on Saturday. You have a great evening. See you next week. Cheers.